Hi, my name's Brett Bevel, and I want to talk to you today about the healing power of haikus. So haikus are a very simple Japanese poetic form. They're often associated with Buddhism and Zen Buddhism, capturing those Satori-like moments, those moments of aha, spirituality where you come to a deep awareness, a deep insight about life. Not to be confused with a Zen koan, which is similar but more about diving you into certain kind of spiritual inquiry. A haiku is just one of those little aha moments captured poetically with words. And over my study as a poet, because I'm also a poet, I've learned that haikus can actually be very healing if you channel them in the right way. So there's two forms of haiku that I've used to bring healing to myself. One is one that I call the grateful haiku, where you're intentionally just writing a haiku of gratitude. And if you make that a practice to just write a grateful haiku every day, it brings your brain into that place of gratitude. And as you're sitting there kind of working with the syllable count, because there's a specific syllable count with haikus, which is the first line should be 5 syllables, the second line should be 7 syllables, and the third line should be 5 syllables. So as you're kind of holding that space of working the language of gratitude into that 5-7-5 form, it really helps it kind of sink deeper into your consciousness. At least that's my own experience of it. So I really recommend working with grateful haikus. I'll share one of mine that I wrote this morning, and it's giving gratitude to all those beings of light who shine from within. So again, I'll read that once again. Giving gratitude to all those beings of light who shine from within. So that's just me, again, feeling that gratitude. And I also feel it each time I read it. It gets me back into that space of gratitude. So I recommend writing a grateful haiku each day. Again, 5-7-5 is the syllable count. So 5 syllables for the first line, 7 syllables for the second line, 5 syllables again for the third line. And just make a practice of writing a grateful haiku every day and just see how that helps embellish your sense of gratitude. Now, there is another haiku that I really recommend, and some of you in the New Age movement might become alarmed that I'm going to use the word hateful, but I call it the hateful haiku. And I don't mean that in a horrible or demeaning way. I mean it more in a humorous way, because haikus, again, come from this kind of very Buddhist background, and they're often about enlightenment and things of that nature. And the term of a hateful haiku came to me a number of years ago when I was actually doing a tarot reading for a friend who actually lived at a Buddhist retreat center not far from where I'm at right now. And it's in Woodstock, New York. And she was having a very difficult time because even though she loved that retreat center, she loved everything that they stood for, she felt that there were some people there who were just kind of crazy and acting out. And because in her tradition, anger was very repressed. So there was no outlet for her to be able to express her frustration and her anger that she was feeling towards some individuals there who were acting a little bit out of alignment. And one way that I can share with you, one thing that one of those people did that was out of alignment was, it was another friend of ours who also worked there at the same place, who had her birthday. So we bought her a cake. We brought her cake up there, and we set it in the common room, intending to get ready to light it again. It hadn't even been lit yet. And we just stepped outside for a few minutes to go look at a beautiful temple that's inside this retreat center. And when we came back, somebody had eaten like a huge chunk of this cake, which was obviously there with, happy birthday on it. It was obviously intended for our friend. And somebody had just, taken a big chunk out of it. So it was that kind of behavior that my friend was getting very frustrated with in this environment. And so while I was giving her the tarot reading, this phrase just came to me like, you should write some hateful haikus. And again, I'm not about wanting to generate a sense of hatred or ill will towards anybody, but more looking at it from this sense of humor, the sense of this was a way for her to channel her anger in a way that was creative. And also in a way, the beautiful thing about if you're writing a haiku that's kind of capturing your anger, because it's so short, it's 5-7-5, it's something where you're not going to ruminate on that anger. You're not going to dwell on that anger. You're not going to let it begin to consume you. You just write kind of a short little snippet and then pop, you let it go. So this is a short, hateful haiku that I've written, and I'll just share it with you. Your bureaucracy, like a dog chasing its tail, goes nowhere at all. Okay, so that's just a little haiku that I wrote, sort of expressing some frustration in an organization that I was working in. And it's just a way to kind of let that anger out, let that frustration out in a way that's actually playful and actually doesn't hurt anybody and still gives you an outlet. So just to conclude the story, so my friend who was working and actually still is working at that same Buddhist retreat center, she began writing these hateful haikus. And we would start to get together as friends, and it became a whole thing among our friends where we would gather together once a week and we would read each other these haikus that we had written to express frustration, to express, anger. And again, even though I call them hateful haikus, they're not really hateful. That's just rhymes with grateful. And I'm just kind of trying to be humorous about the whole process. But in this process, it was like a form of therapy for my friend who worked at this retreat center. And it allowed her to really move through that very difficult time, because at that time she was thinking of leaving that retreat center. Now she still works there and has been working there now for, I think, over a decade. And I think part of her success there has been this practice of the hateful haiku, just being able to find a way to let her anger out in a way that is just genuine and yet not all consuming and not taking her into a place of darkness. But then when you read those haikus, because haikus, the humor about it is that a haiku is supposed to be a very enlightening or kind of wise saying. And so when you read one that's charged with your anger, it's just kind of funny, or at least I find it funny. She found it funny. So just try it. Just try writing a haiku that is focused on letting your anger out. And again, if you do this process, the nice thing about it is because you're captured in this 5-7-5 syllable format, you can't go so deep in it that you become rageful and consumed by your anger. It's just like this little short outlet to be able to let some of that energy out of your system. And I find it actually to be transformational, because when you read it, either to friends or even to yourself, they're often very funny. And they're often very humorous. So you're literally using that haiku format to transmute your anger into laughter, and in some cases into joy. So again, these just two processes for using the haiku format for your own healing process. The first is what I call the grateful haiku, where you're using it to just let gratitude be expressed out to the universe. The other one is one that I humorously just refer to as the hateful haiku. And again, I don't mean that as like pure hate, like some people might think. I just really mean it as an outlet for your frustration, an outlet for your anger. And try this process and just see if it helps lighten your day and helps bring you into a better place in life. So again, my name is Brett Bevel. If you want to learn more about me and my work, you can check out my bio here on the Soulvana app. And you can also go to my own webpage, which is Brett Bevel, BrettBevel.com. Thank you and have a wonderful day.